has been our sign language interpreter. Time now to begin our discussion this evening. Gatundu South Member of Parliament, Moses Kuria, is already right here in studio to speak to us about the politics of the Mount Kenya region, especially the collective destiny of that region, because him, together with other leaders in the Mount Kenya region, are looking at a way that they can consolidate that vote into one basket. Whoever they choose to vote for in 2022, that is a person anyone says has a head start. Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Let's begin by the latest I heard of you. I've heard a lot, but Kenyans are interested by the fact that you're saying you're not going to run for Gatundu South.
And for any other seat, for that matter.
You're not running for anything in 2022?
No.
So what is the reason you just decided suddenly you're not running?
You see, Ken, right now I am busy doing two things. One is building a political party, Chama cha Kazi. And the second one is what you've just alluded to, the effort that we are doing to ensure that people from our region, put a strong foot forward in terms of what is good for us as a region. And I deem those two initiatives to be a full-time job.
More important than running for office.
Absolutely.
Are you not probably threatened that perhaps you will not recapture this seat of Gatundu South? Have you looked forward probably and noticed?
Absolutely, there's no way. I mean, if I was to divide my seat in Gatundu South, it would be a no contest.
What if, because you usually say as politicians, that is not my decision. What if the electorate in Gatundu South says, Moses, you're running for one more time? Will you tell them, no, I have an important obligation here?
But we've talked to them.
And they have allowed you not to run?
Yeah, of course, they were not very happy. But this is a conversation I have with my people. It's not very difficult for me to have conversation with my people. Because of how closely we interact. So I did not wake up one day and just made this decision. I ensured that, first of all, that I tell you what, Ken, anyone who is going to take over from me in Gatundu South will be a very idle guy.
Yeah. Why? Because you've done a lot in Gatundu?
I've done virtually everything that a member of parliament can be able to do in 7 short years.
7, yeah, because
remember I came on a by-election.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the people would be worried if we have got so many gaps in terms of things to do. But it was not a difficult decision for them either, because they know
to let you go.
Yeah.
And Moses, someone will say, at a time when politicians are holding on to positions, you've been a member of parliament, you have put members of the government on the spot. When people are holding tight on positions, you're relinquishing yours. When people are holding tight on leadership, you're relinquishing yours.
Ken, I have only been in parliament for 17% of my life. 83% of my life I've not been in parliament. I've been either my mother's son, or a student, or a professional banker, or, this or that. I mean, or a business person. So it's not that serious. I can tell you that.
You're the president's MP.
Among other 90,000 people.
perhaps among other 90,000. Perhaps you're just going with the president home. Yes. You're going home with the president.
No, not really. The president is going to retirement, as it should be. I'm starting my journey, serious journey to serving the people of this country.
Exactly, that's my point, Moses, because you're starting your serious journey, you're building a political party, you're building a coalition with other Mount Kenya leaders, and this is where perhaps there needs an explanation. Have you projected, looked forward, and saw the need to strengthen a political party ahead of 2022, because there could be possibilities of runoffs, so you need to negotiate for a position at that time? Is that what you're looking forward to?
No, not really. Ken, you've seen the mortality rate of political parties in this country. In fact, barring ODM, every other party exists for the purpose of the next election. And so the need for us to build strong institutions in terms of political parties cannot be gainsaid. Having said that, I don't know why people think that putting up a political party is a joke. It's not a joke. Take serious work, my friend. Take serious work. The fact that you have got out there, build structures, identify candidates, assist them, create environment for them to win seats is a very serious, it's not like their duties, as Oigoro would have put it. No, it's a very serious calling and undertaking.
Okay, I'll still go back to that question. 2022 happened. Right now, the country is divided along party affiliations. Deputy President William Ruto is building a party. ODM leader Raila Odinga has not declared candidature, but we see him going around the country, so definitely we would read through what is in his mind. We have Mwangi Wairia, we have Jimmy Wanjigi, we have the Speaker, right? Everyone is trying to, right now, to build a strong party and to emerge as the best leader. 2022 is coming, and there will be need for this constituent, these small parties, because just in case 50% plus one is not achieved, they need you, Moses. Is this what you're targeting?
Why do you call them small?
Because you're just beginning.
Why the content?
No, because you're just
say
beginning.
Young. Say
you're
young.
Just starting party.
If you just starting, say young. If small means relative, you know, because which party can claim to be big in this country? Maybe Jubilee. You've seen how fragmented Jubilee is. If you look at my colleagues in UDA, 99.99, UDA has got only one member of parliament, the member of parliament for Kiamba. The rest are from other parties.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no one party, I think, you know, barring ODM, that can claim to be a big party. All others are small parties, as it should be. Then from that, you know, conglomeration of so-called small parties, we have a nation. And I don't see contradiction for that.
Okay.
What I disagree with and I disapprove is this thing of dismissing other people as small parties. Small according to who?
Numerical numbers, for example.
Well, we have got an election next year. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So next year is what is going to define big and small.
Okay.
So as of now, we are on the starting race.
Everybody,
when the gun goes, we are going to be on the same level.
Okay.
Yeah. When we attend meetings, IBC, legislative political parties, nobody cares how many members you had yesterday. So the contest is just beginning, and I think for people who are not in politics, it's time to grab some popcorn.
Okay, and watch. Where did you fall out with the president, Moses? Because this is your member, this is a member of your constituency. You have been friends, you were in the forefront campaigning for the president, but suddenly Moses and the president don't look like they can sit and have a plate of githeri.
I don't think I would call it falling out. And if it's falling out, Ken, we were so many of us. We were like, I would say over 150 members of parliament who were elected on Jubilee ticket. And there were differences of opinion. That's it. People do differ, even in a family, people do differ. And yes, it's a fact that the 150 of us, you know, held different views, especially people who had come the journey with him, people who were with him in the first term. So those things do happen.
Okay.
So it was not personal, it's not to me because...
What was your reason?
Personally, the Jubilee that came after 2017, immediately, even unknown to you before the, you handshake. Know, not even the handshake, before the repeat elections,
yes,
was very different from the Jubilee that I had contributed painstakingly to build. It was not the same. Yeah, so, you know, we find ourselves in this situation whereby you wonder, are we really the same people? Is it the same agenda? Because, you know, we had a beautiful agenda in the past 5 years. A wonderful agenda. Okay. You know, you remember the president entering those manyatas to switch on electricity. That thing was melting my heart. You know, because I do believe in those basic things. Water, electricity, schools, you know, things you can understand, things which relate to our people. Then all of a sudden it's, even the whole issue of Big Four, I was personally not quite convinced because to build a plan takes a long time. And I wish that we did the Big Four immediately in 2013, because it takes that much time to. And now you see exactly what I had been fearing, you know, it's come to pass. You remember that post I put some times back about housing. And I was calculating how many houses we need to build before 2022. It looked like eternity. Okay. Look, it's 10 months away, you know?
Nothing.
And maybe because I have got some experience in managing complex projects, you call it that way. I know how much time it takes to get something that is meaningful and impactful. So I was opposed to that. But, those are things you can disagree and even fix. What was a major turning point was when we stopped listening to each other and talking. I've had four parliamentary group meetings for Jubilee in this term.
In how long?
See, the first one was just before Maraga nullified, and it was not a very good one, didn't go down very well. We had another one after nullification, now agreeing how we'll go...
Going forward, yeah.
No, how we'll campaign for the repeat election. Then we went there, sometimes I think members of parliament wanted to amend the budget to do some things that, and it was budget related. The other two was about firing people.
Okay.
The last time I remember our Jubilee family sat together was about firing people.
To make a decision.
And even you talk about handshake. I don't think for me the issue was really the handshake. Because nobody can really fight peace. But we were never, can I tell you, can I shock you? Jubilee has never sat down to discuss a handshake.
The president did not tell his own party.
His own party, never once.
You read it in the newspaper after we wrote it.
I remember I was somewhere in Gatundu attending a funeral, and I was told about the handshake. And I didn't even know, and actually the first person, because I didn't know what is this, I was lost. And by that time, it was not very easy to get the president. So actually I called my friend Baba, and I told him, "You are in the office?" He said, "I'll come for some cup of tea. Tell me, what is this thing?" And, he just gave me an example of an elephant, and these people who are touching the elephant, some touched the ears, they thought it was soft. Nothing really. Nothing came of it, and so we were confused. Then even the BBI itself, now as we got to that journey, we waited. And we were sure that somebody is going to convene a meeting and tell us, now, looking at the way the country is, looking at how polarized we are, I think this is good to do, let us do this. And you know what would have happened in a normal situation? Of course, this could have come as a shocker. Some people would have disagreed with it. But within that process of exchange of ideas, something would have given way.
Okay.
And maybe because, again, I was part of 2010, the constituency there. Yeah. And Kibaki that time, Kibaki and Laila, they actually drove Kenyans together, even Kenyans who didn't agree.
Okay.
I remember I was a co-head of the communication secretariat with Salim Loan. And I was a very diehard number 4, hard tackler for PNU. And Salim Loan was a winner for ODM.
Yes.
But the way that 2010 was prosecuted, we found ourselves working together. And we won, overwhelmingly, 270%.
Okay.
Because it was consultation. Now we wonder what was so difficult. And I know my colleagues from ODM and other parties, they sat their organs from NEC, from their PGs to their national governing councils, and they took resolutions to that is the direction they are taking. So we were that. How now do you expect us now to support something that we've never sat down to discuss?
So for you, it was a difference in ideology. Ideologies changed, so it's not personal with the president at all?
No.
Okay.
It's not personal.
So do you speak to the president?
Well, sometimes I spoke, like the last 3 years ago we spoke.
Last 3 years ago? When is the last time you spoke to the president?
There are some people in this country who have not spoken to the president. So even 3 years is a privilege, isn't it?
When did you speak to him last?
3 years ago.
He'd like to know what's happening.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Okay.
I'm saying there are people in this country
who have never spoken.
And I suspect including yourself.
No, I've spoken to the... Maybe a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah. But... Deputy President... Suddenly, once that fallout was cemented, it looked like the deputy president became so attractive to a lot of the people who are falling out with the president, especially for the reasons you've given, right? And you were seen most of the time with the deputy president. Then suddenly, Moses Kuria is not with the deputy president.
Both of your statements are not accurate. First of all, our relationship with the deputy president started in the first term. And it's because it was our only available port of call. Yeah, and it was in deference and respect for the president. Because it is the president who told us, if you want anything,
go to the deputy.
Go to the deputy. And the deputy, he did a very good job at that. So it is not true that we became close to the deputy president after the fallout. Yeah? Actually, we were part of the fallout together. It is only natural that we cling to each other.
Okay.
I mean, when his powers were taken away, so was my position as a member of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, which I valued very much as my contribution to this country. So was my position as the Vice Chair of the Transport Committee. So we were a union of victims. Yeah, we were all
joined by fate.
By fate, because we suffered the same fate. I don't think we suffered because of the deputy president. Mm-hmm. I think the deputy president suffered with us, because there was no difference between the way he was humiliated and the way my brother Kimani Ichung'wah, he was my chair in the budget committee, and now he's now busy baking mandazis in the welfare committee. I'm not saying that there's a committee of the house that
is more superior. Yeah.
But it's been 4.25 years of a night of long lives. It's not been easy.
So you have not fallen out with the deputy president?
No, we've not fallen out.
Okay.
And the deputy president is my friend. We agree on so many things. Okay. But we disagree on some things, and that's normal. Has that dented our relationship? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
For example, the fielding of the candidate PEP that won that election. Perhaps that was the first time you made the differences with the deputy president.
Where?
Fielding of a candidate that won.
No, because that time
the other party before Chama.
Yeah, but that time, even the deputy president's preferred party was not fielding a candidate. So it was not unusual. And then that was in Juja, I'm sure you were referring to
Juja, yes.
Yeah, it was not unusual because they had decided not to field a candidate. And I think I thought for me to field a candidate. In Kiambaa, which came after, initially we fielded candidates, but like gentlemen who are from the same side of the political thinking, we sat down and we agreed. Okay. And I withdrew my candidate, painfully, And I supported, not only supported, but I was in the front line of campaigning for UDA ticket. Yeah? Then after that, I went back to my own political trajectory because I believe that I've got some...
But how comes? Because ordinarily, if you are with the deputy president, right now you should be championing UDA agenda and not championing the agenda of Chama cha Kazi, which is a young party.
Which is a young party?
Okay, both of them are young parties. Both of them.
The party that you allude to,
yes.
You look at Juja, that time we had UDA. In December, are you aware that PEP, my former party, won a by-election in Muranga way before UDA was born? So who is the younger party here? Way before. That was in December 15, in 2020. Actually, UDA's first contest was in March in London and all that, So it is not true to say that. But so the issue is that I've got some values, I've got some constituency. Yeah, I'm not talking about regional constituency. I'm talking about even like young people, for example, the issue of mentorship. My sister party, UDA party, you'll find a lot of galaxy of stars, MPs, senators, excellencies, so and so, Mheshimiwa, so and so. I believe, on the other hand, in building young people and grooming them and mentoring them. And, I say my party is not really a party. It's a leadership college. So would I go and try and impose my leadership college on other party, on other people and their party? It will be unfair to them. Because there's those things which I think, like the Greens parties in Europe, or like the Scottish National Party in the House of Commons, that I felt that I need a platform to champion them. Does not mean that the other guys are wrong. But I have got some things that my party is party of young people. My party is party for protecting business. My party is also for peace and security and giving assurances to some constituents in this country that all is well. So I cannot impose, those very focused, very niche, considerations on another party.
So you'd rather go and do it in your own party?
In my party, and then we complement each other.
Okay. So it is perhaps another reason that would come up that You say you are with the Deputy President, but the sentiments are that you are viewed with suspicion in the Deputy President's camp. You have been accused of being a spy for the other side because they believe you...
Which is the other side?
To the President's side, the Kieleweke side, because your closeness with the President is not questioned at all. No one can question that. So both camps think that you are a spy.
I like this question, Ken, because first of all, I've told you the last time I talked to the President is 3 years ago, which is regrettable. Because I'm his member of parliament.
Doesn't mean you don't speak to the people around him, like, for example, David Murathe.
I can speak to Murathe and discuss what? I speak to Murathe all the time. Does that mean we have an agenda with Murathe? This is a pettiness and backwardness that is defining our politics and that I've refused to be part of. That I cannot talk to Ken Mijungu.
You have to go through a proxy.
I talk to everyone. I talk to Baba, I talk to Kalonzo, I talk to Musalia, and I talk about it. If I meet William Ruto, I'll tell him, by the way, I was with Ken Mijungu, I was with Balaira, I was with... I have refused. If this is what makes a politician, let me be a wasted politician.
Okay.
You to be a successful politician is how would you even know how to fight this battle? If you keep on saying I will not meet so and so, how would you even know they are thinking? How do you even know? Maybe there's some. Maybe you fight because you don't understand each other. But you know, the most natural thing for me, if I was to subscribe to this Kenyan thinking, I would be very comfortable in so what you are calling Kieleweke. I'm the President MP. We come from the same place. We have walked a distance together. Not as long a distance as they have covered with William Ruto. In fact, the only one of the moles I suspect in Tanga is William Ruto. I think he's Uru's spy. Because even the way, they have come together even longer than us. Some things we can't understand. Yeah? But looking at the factors that I've told you, the most natural place for me would be in Jubilee. If it was not for principle, would be in Kieleweke. You know? By the same token, the most natural thing for me right now would be in UDA. It's a big team. You just play. It's a rugby 15. You just take your place and you wait for the ball to be passed. Who would waste their time, money, effort, jumping all over, having by-election, doing that? It's the most unnatural thing.
Okay.
But if you are accused of both sides of being a mole,
yes,
then
you're being two-faced.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Then you're doing something right.
Or you're mysterious. They don't understand.
No. It means my only constant is Kenyans. So it is not unusual for people to this side to accuse me, that side to accuse me. Because only constant...
the question, answer it. Are you a spy for either side?
And what is to be spied upon for people who do things publicly? What is there?
Private, closed-door meetings,
okay, let me tell you. Let me spy on William Ruto. He was in Okabani yesterday. And it's a secret that... What is there to hide? What is there to spy on? William Ruto will go and hold a rally publicly in a Mali. It is all there. Media is there. You can go live on his Facebook page. What else is there? William Ruto, his party or his movement has got 150 MPs who do things open. What is there to spy on? What is going to eat tomorrow for breakfast, perhaps?
You have said you're together with William Ruto. But we see your activities with Martha Karua, Mwangi Kiunjuri, and of course other leaders from your region. I'm alluding to the outcomes of some of your meetings, especially the irreducible minimums that came from you. Whichever side, and I won't forget that you called UDA our sister party. So if at all you are with your party, eventually you come together with UDA, there are these irreducible minimums. Before we support a candidate, these are what we want. Some of those minimums that you put down are very controversial. For example, demanding 40% of the government, demanding key ministries. You're a nationalist, you've said it's about Kenya first, and yet you're demanding 40%. You're demanding key ministries. From that candidate, you're putting your interests on the table for the region. Don't you think that's an unfortunate way of approaching the next election, especially now that you're not running for anything? You're just putting your demands on the table, and those demands, somehow, if you look at them from the central, the Mount Kenya eye, they are discriminatory of the other areas in the country.
Ken, you know, first of all, me, I'm not a hypocrite. So it's better Moses Kuria who is talking about 40% openly. But all these leaders, politicians, in case you didn't get a memo, they do it privately. They do horse trading. Do you know in 2013, I was part of the team that was negotiating to get Kalonzo Musyoka because, you know, because of what Mutahi Ngoji calls a Ferrari presidency of just the president and the deputy. It was very difficult to form a coalition with, to get some other person on board alongside William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. Do you know we offered Kalonzo Musyoka a third of government? A third of government. Who was not even commensurate with his, you know...
What he was bringing.
What he was bringing on the table. Horse trading in Europe, in America, in whichever country, is a normal thing. And we did not ask for 40% in the beginning of 2019. Because the moment is here. We are at that moment. And people write to you, oh, you know, oh, interest of the country. My friend, do you know, and I can tell you county by county, because since 2007, I have been in charge of political numbers. 2007 for Kibaki, 2012 for Uhuru, 2013, and 2017, alongside people like Sakaja. Ask Sakaja. So, Mount Kenya region, county by county, produces 7 million votes. Uhuru Kenyatta had 8.2 million votes, out of which 6.4 were from 10 to 12 counties, whatever we call M10 plus 2. Now, tell me, because people say it's selfish, is it the other side of selfishness is fairness? Because what fairness is there for a region that has produced, that has got 7%, that produced 84%
of the total votes.
Of the current, not of the total, 84% of Uhuru's votes as one basket came from one region. And it was not enough, by the way. No matter how many there were, it's not enough, because you still have to go and
seek outside.
Seek out there, get people who support William Ruto, you know, come to the table so that, you know, we can be able to get enough votes. Secondly, my friend.
No, before you go to the second.
No, the same point.
Okay, same point.
1992, we had a candidate called Mwai Kibaki, another one called Matiba. 97, we had a candidate called Matiba. 02, we had two candidates actually, Matiba and Uhuru Kenyatta. In 07, we had Mwai Kibaki. In 13 and 17A and 17B, we had Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, I have said it out there that there may be a likelihood that Mount Kenya region, for the first time in 30 years, will support somebody who is not from. And you know, we've been called the high princes of tribalism. And here comes a moment, without being coerced by anyone, without being forced by anyone, that they may give the presidency to somebody else.
The votes, not the president.
The votes
yes.
to somebody else. And it's not, it's not, kidogo votes. It's quite substantial votes. So as a leverage, as even a small token of appreciation.
40% is not small, Moses.
Just asking for commensurate with the voting power. It may not be small. I'm still talking about commensurate with the voting power. Is it too much to ask?
I know, but where do you get your numbers? Because the last IBC figures put the Mount Kenya votes at about 4.6, followed by Rift Valley at about 3 point something, followed by Nyanza at 2.6 and Western at 2.2, going down to about 900,000 votes. You have mentioned 7. In fact, this could be the first time the Mount Kenya vote goes to about 6 million. This could be the first time, according to the IBC.
Okay,
yes.
I'll answer that, because that's the easiest topic too. I always say politics is a branch of mathematics. It's not a branch of literature. Okay? Article 81 of the Constitution defines something called community of interest. So it is not unusual. It's something recognized in the Constitution to define community of interest. That's why even in the United States, you'll find states are not equal. Yeah? And even the American Constitution appreciates communities of interest. Same thing here. So when I talk about our votes, it is a vote of the counties, the 10 counties that make Mount Kenya region, plus the community of interest of people who would be as indeed recognized by Article 81 of the Constitution, you know, find themselves, you know, defining themselves, you know, or voting together. And we can actually play PR with this issue. We know the truth. You know, the community of interest I'm defining, which is not me but the Constitution, in Mombasa County has got 100,000 votes, which is double the registered voters of Lamu County, where even that Lamu County has got some 25,000 votes from that community of interest, which is divided by Article 81 of the Constitution. So these 7 million, by the way, I can actually pinpoint to you
them where they are. Exactly.
So I know what I'm talking
including
about.
Nairobi.
You know, doing this for 14 years, my friend, you know, I know what I'm talking about. You know?
Now I understand community of votes. So that's how it goes to 700. You've distributed it, apart from Mount Kenya votes.
You can say Mount Kenya core and Mount Kenya community of interest.
Around the country. Very interesting. So with this number of votes, now we've talked about the irreducible minimums. You have gone to the table, and Mount Kenya is said, for the first time, like you defined it, is likely to be the decider of this election. The first person, or the person who will get more than 50% of that vote, 60–70% of that vote, is likely to be the president of this country. For that reason, you're coming to the table and saying these are the minimums. This is what this region deserves. My question once again is, have you, I know you've explained it, but have you considered if every part of this country who's coming with something would want a small branch or a small share of that cake? Have you considered that, or you said you're not a hypocrite? It doesn't matter. You go for what you want, and that's what you want, and that's your concern for now.
Let me say two things. Ken. One, mine is only a request or ask on the table. I'm waiting for others. Who told you they're not comfortable? From other regions.
I am not comfortable as Kenyan.
Put you as, what do you want? Don't look at what I'm asking for. Say what you want. Who else have told you what they want? Why will you be begrudging me for saying what I want? If I'm working and I'm in the farm, I'm tilling my farm, and you are sleeping, no, how is that now my problem now? Surely. But if somebody would come and say, this is what we ask, I say, wait a minute, this cake is, you know, you want 40%, Mijungu wants 20%, I think we have a problem. It's coming to 140%. How are we going to meander through this? But so far, because we have criminalized this process of asking, yeah, we are having a premature discussion. Because if other people would come and say, I made this what I want, I said, you can't have that because you have got less mouths to feed. I hope we can have a fair, you know, conversation. Second thing, Jomo Kenyatta came from Gatundu as a Kikuyu. He was coming to Nairobi, and there was another guy called Roland Gara. He was coming from Coast. He came as a Mijikenda. And he found another guy called Masinde Muliro. Another one called Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Another one called Paul Nge. They came as their communities of interest. This thing is as old as our independence, or even pre-independence. And they sat together, and there was born a mosaic called the Republic of Kenya. So the precedent has been set. Okay. Let us not criminalize people asking, where is me? I have taken off from Jomo Kenyatta. In fact, he used to be MP, where I am MP. Where is Engei to ask for Wakamba so that we can sit down there? Where is Jaramogi? Where is Masinde Muliro? Where is Ronald Gala? Let people ask, okay? And then together, we're going to have a house is only as strong as its pillars. As its pillars. Yes, so in terms of whether we are going to compromise, you cannot compromise. In fact, we may even ask for 100% because nobody else is asking. Yes. Yeah, because no one, if you're not asking, you don't need it. Absolutely. Let me talk about the pillars. The pillar right now, we see the reason why, for example, you're building this coalition, let me call it a coalition, with the MKs, Martha Karua and Mwangi Kiunjuri and other leaders, Kabogo. The reason is because you want to build the stakes, is because you want to have a strong bargaining power. Absolutely. So that when you go to the table and present your 40% or 60%, you have a bargaining power because you're coming as a community. One, what if someone leaves? What if all these constituent parties, I was speaking off camera with Mwangi Kiunjuri, for example, about the service party, and he has a plan for the service party, right? What if Mwangi Kiunjuri decides, I can't work with Moses? Martha Karua says, now Kenya can no longer work with these other parties. I'm going it alone. And then now this pillar cannot stand. Have you looked at that
the possibility of that scenario, you not having that bargaining power on the table. So what will you be presenting to the people? What will you be telling the people? Let's vote like this because as a powerhouse, this is what we need for what's coming to us. Because politics change all the time.
Ken, first of all, I'm not the one asking for these things. It's the people. Unless you're saying the people are leaving to go where? It's the people of our region that are asking for these things. Those people have entrusted leadership. They have entrusted leadership. And that leadership is only doing its duty to add a voice. They are not doing a favor to the people. I am not doing a favor to my community. I have an obligation to my community. Yeah? So, leaving, if you leave, the people will just be disappointed. But the legitimate demands, the legitimate asks
remains on the
of the people of the Mount Kenya region, irrespective of who is mouthing them, will remain on the table.
I sat with Professor Peter Kagwanja a while ago on Kivumbi 2020 and Karuti Kanyinga also from the region. And one of the things they said that the issues on the table, part of which you presented, are so important that it will be a betrayal of any of Mount Kenya leadership to break away at that crucial moment.
You know, and I don't even know why anyone would break away. Because we have given people utmost and complete freedom. We have disassociated this with political affiliations. So I don't know, it's like leaving your mother's house. To go where? We have got people within our team who are championing this cause, but they support Raila Odinga. Okay. And I'll tell you, people like Peter Kennedy are with us. Peter Kennedy is a very strong member of our team. Yeah? He's been in our meetings. He's very, passionate about it. He supports Raila Odinga.
Okay.
Yeah? I support William Ruto. That is besides the point. That is totally besides the point. When it comes to the issues of our region, political affiliation, political ambitions, political interests do not matter. Even our own parties
don't matter.
Even our own parties don't matter.
Check and balances. How do you ensure this is delivered? Once you swear by the Bible, hold the sword and the shield, and you're given the instruments of power. I mean, I don't have to talk to you, Moses. William Ruto doesn't have to talk to you.
After that?
After that, your own president doesn't talk to you for 3 years.
Yes.
So once that happens, what is the check? What is the balance?
Very good question. And that is why I'm insisting I will never break my party. Because it is the guarantor, in my opinion, to those things which I hold very dear. That is one of them. I will have enough members of parliament to ensure that that betrayal that has been part of this country does not happen. I'll have enough governors. I'll have enough senators. I'll have enough MCAs to ensure that that dream is carried through. It's not for me. It is for a very important constituency in this country. And because of the betrayal of MOUs and the only other counterweight to betrayal is having parties that are custodians of those gains.
Okay. Has Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru attended your meetings?
Well, I'm not in our meetings. I'm sure she has been part of other initiatives that are precursor to our meeting, but I've not seen her in our meeting.
Do you believe she subscribes in that ideology?
I don't know.
Because she's a leader.
I don't know, but if she believes in that. And but by the way, let me say this. I think when we had our first Serena meeting, the first person to support Mother Karua Mwangi Kyojo and myself was Anne Waiguru. At least it is even still on her social media. Okay. And I'm very grateful.
She supported that initiative?
I'm very grateful for that consideration. Yeah.
She supported that initiative?
Yes, she did.
The reason why I'm asking this question is Waiguru once said something now that we're talking about Mount Kenya politics. She said that you cannot buy a Kikuyu.
You can buy who?
You can only...
Yes, tell me another one you can buy. You can buy a Maasai.
In essence, you cannot...
You know, it is unfair to Kikuyus to keep on using them as a benchmark or SI unit of everything. So yes, you cannot buy a Kikuyu, it's true. So you can buy a Maasai. You can buy a Luya. What's the flip side to this? So let's not entrench stereotypes.
So when you go to
let's not entrench stereotypes.
So that's stereotype.
Now me, I will say, okay, you cannot buy a Kikuyu, you can only buy a Luo. You cannot buy a Kikuyu, you cannot buy a Maasai. So you cannot buy as opposed to who? Is a very...
I think what she meant was Kikuyus eventually, because at the end of her statement was eventually Kikuyus wakona mahali pao, something like that, or wakona wenyewe. So what you mentioned when Matiba ran alongside Kibaki, that election, 1.1 million votes. It was disfranchised at that time. Look at what Matiba got. The only time that we've got solid votes from the Kikuyus to one candidate was Mwai Kibaki, 2002, right? And Uhuru Kenyatta, 2013. That was solid votes. But the other elections, if you look back, there were one or two candidates. For example, Uhuru Kenyatta ran, and at that time he didn't get any votes because the Kikuyus were looking at Matiba, for example. So right now, with that basket, what my interpretation of what Waiguru meant is we will vote in one basket. So you cannot direct us into any other basket as we come wholesome. And that's what you're attempting with this initiative, with these other leaders.
No, it's not about voting, my friend.
Mm-hmm. But that was the end of her statement.
Ken, it is so difficult to tell Kikuyus how to vote.
But they've been voting in one basket, and you confirmed it.
Yes, they have, but without being told by anyone. Can I tell you something? In the year, and you know I've been around these games for quite some years. In the year 20, by a time like this, with 10 months to the election, in 2012, we didn't know who is our candidate as Mount Kenya people. Mother Karua was a very strong contender.
Yeah,
Peter Kenneth was a very strong contender. Uhuru Kenyatta was there. It is like in 800 meters, everybody was running on the first lap, almost at the same level. And then the people, they just wake up one day spontaneously.
And decide this is the person
they decide that this is the person they are voting for. So it is so difficult for anyone telling you, even myself, that you can be able to determine how are people who are as complex as nuclear physics are going to vote. What you do is you put your ear and your hand and you're at the pulse of the Mount Kenya people. Yeah? Because, again, people assume that Kikuyus wake up today and decide tomorrow.
Or they may have decided long ago.
They just keep quiet.
They're just quiet.
Just keep quiet. Do you know when Uhuru became president? In the minds of the Kikuyu, not on the ballot? In 2003. Immediately they voted for Mwai Kibaki.
They had planned ahead.
10 years ahead.
They had planned ahead.
So because generally they're investors, and investors don't like to make, small...
Bad decisions.
Yes, short-term decisions. So sometimes people come, jump up, down. But if someone was to be advised by someone like me, who has been around politics for over 2 decades, be very... If that is what you mean by you can't buy a Kikuyu, they may be right, because they make their decisions way, 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 way in advance.
Okay.
Yeah?
So your initiative could be in futility to bring them together and use them to negotiate on the table with whoever presidential candidate you prefer.
There is negotiating, and they're stating your demand, you ask.
But with the backup of the votes, you mentioned the votes, Moses.
Do you know, let me say something.
Yes.
In 2013 and 2017, Kikuyus were very bad voters. Very bad voters. 2017, I have told you, 84% of the vote they gave to Uhuru Kenyatta. Ditto 2013, without asking for anything. You just don't have to ask somebody because it's not from your community. With the wisdom of hindsight, we should even have asked of Uhuru Kenyatta, Wekelea, what are you doing for us? Yeah? With wisdom of hindsight. So we missed that opportunity. And we voted for him, who is one of our own, without asking, 2013, 2022, where is our coffee going to be, starting and finishing? How is our this going to be? And it's all of our own. And see, now a lot of people in Mount Kenya region are regretting. Now, how can you now tell me not to ask? And twice, I have done without asking. Yeah, blindly, just because we are bound by other ties. And we have regretted and people are crying. And you now want me to repeat the same mistake and give someone, this one not even from your community. Yeah? Unless something changes. Yeah? Without asking.
Okay.
It is not rational. It is not reasonable. It's not wise.
But my question you've not answered. You are bringing your people. Martha Karua na Kenya. She has people behind her. Peter Kenneth, Moses Kuria, Mwangi Kiunjuri. I'll bring the Speaker of the National Assembly. Mwangi area has been a governor 2 times. All these people have people behind them. For me, if you make a decision as far back to vote Uhuru Kenyatta in 2003 when Kanu lost to the Rainbow Coalition, the decision must have been made now. Kikuyus are not waiting to be helped to make that decision. However, the difference this time, Moses, is for the first time, they did not foresee this. Probably they did not foresee the fact that they will not have a presidential candidate. Well, there could be a presidential candidate coming up later, but it's not so defined as 2013. It's not so defined as 2007. It's not so defined as 2002. For the first time, let me say it's not so defined. So
I think that's something we should celebrate as a country.
It is for the country, but not for this vote that we have been told is a swing vote. Yes. So at what point does it become the decider? At what point does it become the swing vote? At the ballot, where you've told us no one should be certain and no one can direct the Kikuyus where to vote. At what point do they come? Because you are negotiating, remember. You're preparing to negotiate.
And then I should add, no one should neither take them for granted.
That voting?
Yes. They can be very vicious. They can be very lethal. They can be predictably unpredictable.
Okay.
Yeah? They can be unpredictably predictable or predictably unpredictable. Anyone who takes them for granted will do so at his or her own peril. Take that to the bank.
I want to play the video of the week because it's tied together with what you have said. This was Mwangi Kiunjuri, leader of TSP party, speaking. Let's watch the video of the week, then we come back and close the show.
Lakini huwezi sema that I have now scaled the mountain. It is too early to say that you have scaled the mountain. The mountain is so high. There is also ice up there. The weather can be very rough. And therefore, it is good for you to continue wooing the people, but don't think you have succeeded. Because the others who are following you, who knows that it is very difficult for them to scale the mountain. And what they are doing, they are bringing all the sheep together. They are trying to seek support from all of us. Na hayo ndiyo tumekuwa tukisema na kuendelea nayo mbele.
For me, it's just a different language, perhaps a softer language of what Governor Anne Waiguru said about this voting block. Don't claim that I have scaled the mountain.
And it is the same thing Moses Kuria has just told you, that you can only take this block for granted at your own peril. And anyone for that matter. We should not take each other seriously. Nothing is given in this country, or even in this life. Nothing is given. What is given? Except that there's God in heaven. And except the fact that there's going to be this world, whether you are there or not there. Nothing is given. There's no guarantee for anything in this world, not even in this country. So there's no distinction. There's no. I remember even my former governor Kabogo sometimes back to the deputy president, come and look for the vote yourself, which he did. The other day I was in Githunguri with my good friend Musalia Mudavadi, and I told him where to look for votes is here among these people. Let no one sit down there in a corner and cheat you. So all these are roots to one fact that we are saying the same thing.
Okay.
There's no inconsistency. That I am a politician, I look for votes. I take every vote seriously. Every vote. I am in by-elections even now, for as small as it as MCA. I take every vote seriously. Yeah? Matters of voting, matters of elections are serious business.
Okay.
You cannot take them for granted. I have seen some people who have failed again and again and again and again and again because of making that one mistake, of ignoring some, or taking something for granted.
So
I have seen it.
This is already bugged.
Yeah, I have seen it. You're thinking everything is sealed. I have seen it. That's a good thing with being somewhere, for quite some time, because you've seen every failures and successes. And the failure book is this thick of some people.
Okay.
If you go in all chapters of that failure book, it will point to people who took matters for granted and assumed things were in the bag.
We have a few minutes, but I'll ask you two questions. My first question now is, you have stated clearly that you support William Ruto. Well, you've also stated that you have to strengthen your party because there are things you believe in, and those things cannot be imposed on someone else's party, so you have to build yours. You've also said that you cannot dissolve your party because of the things you believe in. The Deputy President believes in empowering the people on the ground. Some of the people who are being empowered are youth without jobs. You have stated you are a mentor to the youth. If you look at the empowerment methods, for example, that the Deputy President is using in Mount Kenya region, do you agree with them? I know you said there are things you don't agree with. For example, empowering, I can give you a wheelbarrow so that you are able to ferry your produce to the market and make some money because as it is, you don't have any money. Do you agree as a leader with some of those methods?
Well, let me say this about our economic model. There has no national economic model. It's really not even a UDA economic model. I have participated a lot in developing that model, myself, Moses Kuria, personally. Actually, the first discussion about our model was just two people, myself and William Ruto. Just two people, and you can put that to him. When we started the journey of what are the most important things that we are going to do within our administration.
To make a difference.
To make a difference, you know. And, this is my background, economics, and, such matters are within my province, so I am sort of an authority also within, our political movement or those things. So in terms of where are we going, what's the spirit behind it, I totally subscribe to. There are some things which I believe, in terms of implementation, in terms of practicability, and because, don't forget I'm a banker, so some of these things, I have slightly different way of how we are going to implement them. Okay. But in terms of the spirit, it's the same. It's the same really because we are joined by this agreement that there is this guy at the bottom of the pyramid, yeah, who was completely forgotten. We didn't just forget his needs. We even forgot that he exists. So in terms of that, I totally agree. And then, I do believe that the issue of, like, for example, giving people wheelbarrows has been overplayed. Because I don't think the issue is go and Gatundu South on Tuesday, you come to the DCC's office, that is where we are going to give wheelbarrows. I think it's the spirit, the embodiment of that thing, of focusing at that guy at the bottom of the pyramid above all else. Yeah, so I know that people are focusing when they talk about this model on Mount Kenya region. But I think that is also short-sighted on those people who are attacking the Deputy President on the basis of that model. Okay. Because the last time was in Kisumu, was on the 1st of June, during Madaraka Day. And I spent a lot of time with people in Kisumu. Yeah. And it will shock you. It will shock you. They totally believe in this model completely. Okay. Yeah? It's not just people in Kodele shouting about this and that. Those guys down there, because of what we have come through as a country, because of their personal situation, because of their personal frustrations, they believe in this model. So the more other people focus on Mount Kenya, lo and behold, you'll go back elsewhere and find it's not a Mount Kenya thing. Okay.
As a party leader now, as we end, don't you think you're in a catch-22 situation? The Deputy President has declared that he's with the people, he's with the hustlers. This is a movement for the people. He also said that this is not a place where leaders come and now talk about minataka, I want all these things. They are not on the table for William Ruto. So as a party leader on the other side, do you think you're in a catch-22 situation? Because William Ruto will not negotiate with you, or Mwai Kiunjuri, or Martha Karua. He's with the people. He's not with party heads.
By the way, who has to negotiate with someone?
I mean, who has applied? Did that vote go to him?
No, who has applied? Who has applied to negotiate? Yeah? And I've said, because there are some things that I believe in and the Deputy President believes in, because there are things that we agree, I'll continue supporting him until he sends me a SMS, WhatsApp, or a sign letter, stop supporting me.
You will continue supporting him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah? If he tells me, I don't think my vision and your vision are together, so tafadhali Moses Kuria, please stop supporting me, I'll continue supporting him. In the meantime, I'll continue working for my party and things that I believe in. Okay. No matter what the consequences.
Is that a lesson you learned from the dissolution of constituent parties after the last election for you to go as Jubilee Party and now look at what happened? Is that a lesson?
Actually, the book of Jubilee is a book of regrets.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And finally, Catch-22 still. I have seen you with Raila Odinga. You're very cordial. You speak to him. You've said you speak to everyone. I mean, if this one fails, would you think, because you said you support William Ruto, I know you're still having things on the table. If Raila Odinga today accepts everything that is on the table, you as Moses and your team, where will you go? Would you go there?
That's not a personal decision. There are things I can do as Moses Kuria. But we have got a team that has got a very serious agenda on the table.
Okay.
Yeah? And let me not speak for that team, because just yesterday we had a meeting in Naivasha, and we came up with our, I think you saw that, with our spokesperson, who is Honorable Mother Karua. So I can organize for Mother to come.
Come here. I know she speaks to us very regularly.
Yeah.
All right. So as at now, your focus is your party and
the region.
Okay.
Yeah, party and the region.
Okay.
Other things will close a bridge when it comes to that.
Thank you, Moses, for coming. I'm honored to have you on the show tonight and for shedding light on your bigger constituency, which you say is not even the region. Unless you have something supplementary, I got to let you go, right?
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for watching. Meresha Witi was our sign language interpreter earlier on. Moses Kuria, thank you very much for coming on behalf of the team. Have a good night. Tomorrow is Crossfire Thursday. Sophia Wanuna is still away from Crossfire, but Akisa Wandera will be right here with another panel, because this is a season of politics, the silly season, and everything is happening. The game of musical chairs, every single day changing, new sentiments every single day. So we have to keep the conversation going, because the day we stop talking to each other is the day we begin fighting with each other. Thanks for watching NewsHour tonight. My name is Ken Mijungu. Have a good night.